Hello everyone. All right, today let's talk about the new moon happening in the sign of Capricorn on the 11th of January at 20 degrees of the sign. As we know, the new moon is when we plant new seeds, right? This is where new manifestations are put into place, where our intentions are floated outwards towards the universe. And the results and the outcomes and the culmination of those intentions and manifestations can be seen on the next full moon, which is on the 25th of January in the sign of Leo. I'm going to talk about a few of the astrological transits that could be aspecting this full moon, this new moon, pardon me. But if you want to fast forward to the reading, then the timestamp will be in the box down below. But I would highly recommend you listen to the transits because this isn't a very typical new moon. We associate any transit of the moon or any phase of the moon with feeling, with emotion, right? But this new moon is a little colder. I was studying the transits. I'm going to mention a few of them now. Now, Mars is in Capricorn, as we know. It moved into Capricorn on the 4th of January up till the 13th of February. And surprisingly, Mars, being a very fiery sign, is exalted in Capricorn, which means it likes being in Capricorn, right? It's cooled down there, but it's determined and focused. That warrior spirit isn't spilled all over the place. It's focused and directed. So if you are planting new seeds, if you have intentions, especially towards your career, your ambitions, your public image, your income, or even significant relationships, if you have been a little all over the place when Mars was in Sagittarius, this is wearing those horse blinders, right? Now, it's a very hardworking, strategic, and consistent transit. It's a good time to plant those seeds of intention. Now, Mars will also be trining Jupiter, which is a beautiful transit. This is optimism. It's drive and energy and abundance, and your efforts paying off consistently. This is not about the scales being unbalanced. This is not about you putting in 10 hours of work and getting nothing in return, right? This is consistent reward for merit. Then we have this new moon trining Uranus in Taurus within 1 degree. This is a significant transit and it talks about surprises, right? Now, we do associate the new moon with new beginnings, but these new beginnings will be very surprising. Right? It could be a random, sudden job offer. It could be a random, sudden proposal. It could be a random, sudden investment opportunity or hearing back from somebody, right? It's the energy of breakthroughs and insight and innovations. Next, we have this new moon conjuncting Pluto, which is also in Capricorn, within a 10-degree orb. Now, this isn't a very it isn't like as potent as the Uranus transit is, but it's still there in the background. And I don't love this energy, to be frank with you. It's a very manipulative, mastermind, chess plotting kind of energy, right? It's like you're gonna have to be very strategic when you're dealing with people and dealing even with yourself. Pluto is going to make sure that you dig deep. It is the detective of all the planets, right? It likes mystery, but it likes solving that mystery. So there may be a little bit of confusion that is gonna make you want to get to the depth, to the bottom of a situation before you plant those seeds that I was talking about. Now, the next transit is going to explain why. We have Mercury and Venus in Sagittarius, which of course is it's a fiery energy. It's fun, it's flirtatious, it's pleasing, and it's a nice shift from the slightly cold and sometimes boring energy that a new moon in Capricorn can come with. But Venus is loosely trining Saturn and Neptune. This is, well, it's soft rejection, right? It's a little bit of coldness. It's a few empty promises. It's lies, right? Us telling them or us being lied to. This is what I was talking about, the mystery. It's a little confusing because Mercury is also going to be squaring Neptune within a 2-degree orb, and this is unclear and misleading communication. This is words and their meanings not being genuine, right? Again, those empty promises. So there is a little bit of a haze that new moons generally don't come with. New moons come with a lot of clarity of thought, and that intention, right, that I was talking about earlier. But these transits with Mercury and Venus can make things a little muddled. Now, Chiron will also be on the North Node, and this is more of a background energy because this is happening all through January. So we're collectively healing anything, any sort of embarrassment, anything that we were ashamed of, anything that we feared. We're collectively healing those wounds. So to recap, overall, this new moon brings about new beginnings that are focused and determined, but it's going to take a lot of work to get focused, right? Because communication is unclear. And a little bit of strategy could be very important right now. And I know that sounds very cold, especially if you're talking about relationships. But a few chess moves will be required here. And it's not a very emotional new moon. So maybe that's a blessing, right? Because we've had quite a few emotional phases of the moon in past times, especially now with on the 25th of January with that full moon in Leo. My goodness, that will be a fiery one. So maybe use this to your advantage, right, to cool down just a little bit. Now I'm gonna be pulling a freestyle spread, starting off with some oracle cards, and see what we can gather, if we can make sense of this lunation. All right, that wanted to reveal itself. This is an impossible deck. Alrighty, what do we have? We have silver. Is that not appropriate? My goodness. This is a new deck for me. I will have to refer to the book, but let's see what else we have. We have summer. I was not expecting that. I was expecting a colder card, but maybe it's a good thing. Maybe we need that warmth. All right, I just studied the book. And it's really interesting. I absolutely love it. When we're talking about argentum or silver, right? Silver is known to be the metal of the moon. That's why we have a moon depicted and illustrated right there. Silver being known as the metal of the moon and the brain being known as the silver organ tells us that meditation is the key to unlocking this metal secret. That's exactly how it's written in the book. There's something very lunar, celestial about this card that I absolutely love, but it's also that transit we were talking about with Mercury and Neptune. It's a little hazy. If you look at a mirror, right, if it's not polished, if it's not worked upon, it'll be foggy, it'll be cloudy. If you look at silver as a metal, it's going to tarnish and oxidize over time. So silver asks you to work on something, unlike gold, which retains its beautiful, malleable radiance forever, right? It doesn't require us to work on it. Silver wants us to work on it time and time again to maintain its brilliance, right? So there's a lot of internalization, a lot of work that this new moon is going to force us to do. While, like I said earlier, it may not be a very emotional new moon, but it requires that shadow work nonetheless. Shadow being very important here because the sky is dark, right? There is no brilliance, there is no radiance. So we need to polish ourselves so we can shine. Just because, well, the moon isn't, right? There's a reflective quality about this card. And there's almost a truth that may be hidden for you right now. A truth that is not elusive, all right? A truth that you can uncover, but it's going to require a little bit of work. We can very easily ignore that oxidized piece of silver, right? And call it a patina and call it beautiful. But imagine what can be revealed if you do a little bit of polishing. This doesn't necessarily have to mean having a conversation with somebody. Communication can be difficult right now, but it's more internalized, right? It's like peeling that onion within yourself because all those answers lie within you. I don't know what this is related to, but what is very interesting here is we have summer. Now, with summer, if we had gotten another hot card here, I would have been a little worried, right? But it's almost like they're balancing each other out. I'm almost seeing this as the sun and the moon. That's yin and yang. That's a beautiful, beautiful equilibrium. Summer as a card talks about fullness, vitality, and ripening, and sensuality, and all those big, beautiful words, right? I feel that I was looking at the transits. On the 21st of July, we have a full moon in Capricorn, right? I did say that the culmination of the seeds that we're planting now can be seen on the 25th of January. But for some of you, the seeds that you're planting in this new moon in Capricorn, you will see the results in the summer, around the 21st of July, which is the full moon in Capricorn, like I said. So there is a ripening of something. There is a blooming of sorts. And I don't know, I'm feeling like there's going to be a bounce in your step. I did say that this new moon can be very cold. So the communications you're having and the intentions you're setting may be very strategic. They may be very calculative, very manipulative, very cold, right? But it's all towards a better goal. It's all towards a better result. So if you're not happy with your surroundings, your environment, your relationships right now, they're going to ripen. You just have to be a little patient. Interesting. All right. Let's pull your tarot and see. Argentum. We have the star, Aquarius energy. Some of you could be an Aquarius. You could be dealing with an Aquarius. Doesn't have to be. But we are going to be entering Aquarius season on the 20th. The Two of Cups, beautiful. Integration, harmony, love, commitment. The Five of Wands, conflict. Can't have one without the other. Judgment. Scorpio, Pluto energy. We have been talking about Pluto. The Queen of Cups, Cancer energy. And the Queen of Swords, air. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Wands with the Queen of Wands, the High Priestess, and the Lovers with the Four of Pentacles. A lot of the times I start a reading and I tell myself that I want to expand a little bit on how I'm reading, right? I want to make it as general as possible. But somehow every reading I'm pulling nods to love. I can't help it. You saw the bottom of the deck, you're seeing the Two of Cups, you're seeing the Queen of Cups. How am I supposed to make this a career reading? It's not possible, right? So let me not fight it and let me talk about love here. With the star, there's a healing of sorts. There's almost like a revival that's happening. And I'm not getting that solely with the star, I'm getting it with Judgment too. Judgment talks about what is dead rising back up, right? Either to be healed or to be closed out or whatever. With Silver and Summer, I'm getting that something may have oxidized over time. And most likely this was a relationship. Whether that oxidization was boredom, or it was taking each other for granted, or it was losing yourself in a connection, right? The loss of independence, which is codependency. I am going to clarify, but overall, the broad spectrum of this reading is talking about a reevaluation happening here. The Two of Cups and the Queen of Cups is unconditional love. This is the definition of unconditional love for me. This is two Aces of Cups coming together and filling each other up over and over again. So it's almost like a fountain of love. I'm getting Temperance, right? Two cups pouring into each other. If you're familiar with the original Rider-Waite, the star also depicts a woman holding two cups. There's something here about love languages balancing out, right? There's something about your emotional quotient and the other person's evening out. The Five of Wands and the Queen of Swords is tipping me off just a little bit, because the Five of Wands in this entire spread is pretty much a nonsense card for me. The Five of Wands can talk about petty conflict and fights and arguments and all of that, but it can also be fighting for something or even someone. And I'm getting that again with the Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck, which is the card of the wounded warrior, right? This is someone who has one last fight left in them. So some of you may be feeling drained in this connection. You may be feeling like you've given it your all. And some of you may just want to be left alone to heal yourselves. But I can't deny this. It's in the heart of your reading. The Queen of Swords is nice to see. While the Queen of Cups is a beautiful energy within herself, no gender in tarot, the Queen of Cups can be a little illusioned, right? Love is blind. And that applies very well to the Queen of Cups. But in addition to that, we have the Queen of Swords, which is a highly intellectual and logical person. This is someone who uses their intelligence to make decisions. So this is your mind and your heart seeing eye to eye. Let's clarify. Oh, Ten of Pentacles wanted to show itself. Why is the Star here? The Chariot, Cancer energy, the Devil, Capricorn energy, and the Sun, my goodness, Leo energy, 3 major arcana on a major arcana. Wow. And the Death card at the bottom of the deck, that's insane. Okay, what? With the Strength card, that's a lot of majors. Starting off the reading with a bang. If we look at the moon, right, it has no light of its own. It needs the sun to illuminate itself. The sun is right here. We have the sun, the star, and the moon. So it's almost like all the celestial bodies are joining forces to heal whatever this is. With the Devil, there could have been a touch, like I said, of codependency. There could have been a touch of a very Saturnian influence that was keeping you tied to somebody. It could have felt like a soul contract. It could have felt like you can't break out of those chains, right? But the Chariot talks about movement. The sun reflects summer. That's very Jupiterian energy. It's optimistic. It's free. There's a freedom here that I'm getting now. A freedom after an ending. A freedom to choose if you want to re-indulge in whatever this was or seek the closure that you want. You're going to be given that chance with Judgment. There's a do-over happening here that I just cannot ignore. But after those chains are broken, you have to be very, very sure of the direction you are taking here. The Chariot talks about that balance of yin and yang, right? It talks about the balance between mind and heart. If you're again familiar with the original Rider-Waite, maybe I should have just used those cards, but it shows this man riding a chariot and there's a canopy of stars above his head, which means that there is a North Star. That North Star is your intuition that is guiding you. Meditation could be of utmost importance right now. While your mind, your active conscious mind is muddled, your subconscious mind may be working overtime to give you information. That is going to make your decision a whole lot easier. But if I look at the energy that the planets and all the celestial bodies are throwing at you here, it's healing. It's lighting up all the dark corners in your heart and the other person's. The moon, when are these major arcana going to stop? Pisces, Cancer energy, the Fool. I'm not making this up. I'm shuffling in front of you. And the Ace of Cups. My goodness, what a phenomenal reading. We have Uranus energy. We have Neptune, Pisces, Cancer energy. With Scorpio energy, that's a lot of water. The Fool card can be mistaken for an Aries card because it's the first card of the tarot, and Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, but I very quickly learned that it is actually a card of Uranus. I was talking about Uranus aspecting this new moon and how there could be surprises involved where there are new beginnings right now. The moon and the Ace of Cups together for me is a beautiful combination of somebody leveling up their EQ, someone facing their fears, someone facing their traumas, someone understanding their attachment styles, right? The Fool on its own can be a risky leap of faith, a childish, immature leap of faith, but the moon matures that just a little bit. So does Judgment. There's that strategy that I was talking about, the chess moves that I was talking about, right? They can be used right here. And I think it's a beautiful way to apply yourself, or for the other person to apply themselves. This is calculating all of the risks, and eventually that equating to a heart being full of love. This is that balance between the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords. This is heart and head both wanting to take this leap. I don't know if this is you or it's the person you're dealing with. Maybe it's both of you. It could be, seeing how powerful these energies are, they're too much for one person to handle. I feel like this is the energy of your connection. Someone is understanding why they behave the way they behave. And I was seeing this video yesterday about how a lot of people can mistake partners who are dismissive avoidance for being narcissists. It can be very easy for people with a secure or even an anxious attachment style to blame a person who likes their space in the middle of conflict. It can be very easy for us to label those people as narcissists when actually they're just dismissive avoidance or fearful avoidance, where they don't like conflict, where the way they've been raised, it's not a very emotionally mature childhood. It is someone who had to pick up the pieces themselves. It is somebody who was not allowed to feel safe while expressing their emotions, which is why it's their defense mechanism, it's their default setting to shut down in the face of conflict. I don't know why I'm getting that here suddenly. I did see the Death card at the bottom of the deck with the star. There's an understanding of one's core trauma here, one's core wounding here. I have the Three of Cups with the Emperor and the King of Cups, the King to the Queen of Cups. I feel like there's no ego here now. The moon does not reflect ego by any means. The sun most definitely can, right? The moon does not. The moon is all internalized. This is your subconscious mind. It's not your pride. It's not your identity. It's more fluid than that, you know. But again, the Ace of Cups is an offer of love, plain and simple. Why is the Two of Cups here? The King of Wands, the Five of Cups, and the Seven of Pentacles. The Five of Cups, Judgment at the bottom of the deck, with the Four of Pentacles. I feel like this has happened before. It's happened before. This is not the first time you're going through a separation or a hiccup in this connection. The Five of Cups can talk about this energy of crying over three cups that have been spilt, but failing to see the two cups that stand behind you, very full and very upright. You do have those two of cups right here. There could be this energy of too much water under the bridge. I'm getting that with the Seven of Pentacles. It's possible that all of this commotion and this Five of Wands energy, these arguments, these petty debates, they've kind of snowballed into something much bigger than it should have been. With the Wheel of Fortune and the Page of Pentacles. The Wheel of Fortune, again, even though it's Jupiterian energy, I'm getting a very Uranus breakthrough kind of energy here. especially with the King of Wands. The King of Wands is very focused and very direct, and that is what I was talking about when I was speaking about the Mars transit, right? Mars being in Capricorn, being very focused and diligent and consistent. There's a consistency here now that was missing earlier. The Seven of Pentacles is a very irritating for me energy of waiting around and twiddling your thumbs. That, all right, I planted my seeds, let me see what comes out of them. No, this is not fertilization. This is not watering. You're just standing there. You've put those seeds in the soil and you're just standing there and waiting, right? I don't love that energy. It's not proactive enough. And now is the time for us to be very proactive. And this could be you, your person, both of you. But while earlier there was a holding back of sorts with the Four of Pentacles, and interestingly, this new moon is happening in the third decan of Capricorn, which is represented by the Four of Pentacles. It's actually the card of this new moon. There's a stoicism that was probably coloring your relationship, right? A coldness. The King of Wands is here to change that. The King of Wands is fire, it's warmth. And I think Venus and Mercury, both in Sagittarius, will help us see this fire. Something's changing here. There's a proactiveness here now that I really like. There could also be a sense of this regret as to why didn't we do this sooner? Why didn't we fix this sooner? There's too much water under the bridge. You know what I mean? But you have to understand these are just clarifying cards. The main card here is the Two of Cups, which is that unconditional love. That is what is adding that fuel to the proactiveness. Judgment again refuses to go away. I wanted to, when I was flipping the Ten of Swords, I wanted to put it back. I wanted to shuffle again. So I'm going to put this to the side for now and shuffle. The Nine of Wands is back. I'm going to shuffle again. We will address the Ten of Swords, don't you worry. And the Tower. I love this. Now this makes sense. Rock bottom was hit, plain and simple. Wheel of Fortune, Page of Pentacles, Three of Wands, Page of Swords, and the King of Cups, again with the Page of Pentacles. With the Knight of Pentacles, pardon me. The Ten of Swords is the energy of feeding too many commands into a computer, which is your brain. Too many commands, so it just shuts down. It doesn't have the capacity to process so much emotional information. And I think that's what happened here. But what is beautiful, when your mind shuts down, even though the heart is not a thinking organ, right? A lot of us, especially if we have a lot of water in our charts, a lot of us rely on our heart to make decisions. And that heart could be your gut, it could be your intuition. And I feel like for a lot of you and the people that you were dealing with, while the reality of a situation sucked, right? The reality and the facts were just god awful. It made absolutely no sense on paper. But a reality without this connection, it's unfathomable. It's unreal. It's unimaginable. Because unconditional love, like the Queen of Cups has to offer, is very difficult to find. Which is why we have the Nine of Wands twice, with the Lovers tucked in below this card. Which is why Judgment is here. If this was a useless connection, all right, if this was a waste of your time, the universe, this is the universe for me, would not make you do a do-over. It wouldn't bring this back around. It wouldn't give you a promise of ripening. Judgment showed up twice, and it showed up at the bottom of the deck, I think twice again. There is an epiphany, a realization, a breakthrough, an aha moment Why? The fall of ego. That is what the Tower represents. When I saw the Emperor at the bottom of the deck earlier, that's exactly what I told you. There's a fall of pride. There's a surrender here. There's a surrender. And there's also a realization that the universe is puppeting us all. While we do have a hand in creating our own destiny with the universe, of course, sometimes when we don't have all the tools that we need to create our reality, the universe steps in. And while it may seem like puppeting, the universe is actually helping us. Because it wants the best for us, plain and simple. Some of you may have been building on a foundation that was not strong enough for a relationship as strong as this one. Does that make sense? It's like you want to build a multi-story building, right? That's a strong ass building. And you're building it on sand. It makes no sense. You've passed the plans of that building. You know it's going to be constructed, right? Find a good piece of land for it. You were building on sand. So the universe is demolishing that building, not because it doesn't want you to build, not because it doesn't see the worth in that building, but because you're building in the wrong place. You're building with wrong materials. So the potential of whatever this connection was, it just fails to amount to anything, you know? It's like a very expensive plant or a fruit tree, right? You have the sapling or the seed or whatever, and you know that the fruit is delicious. You wouldn't plant it in toxic soil, in dormant soil, in barren soil. No. You would plant it in fertile and rich soil. That is what the universe wants here. That water under the bridge, it's past. It's gone. It's done. It's over. That karma has been delivered. It has been processed and digested. It's time to start afresh. And that means that you cannot, absolutely cannot hold on to past baggage and past pain. Freshness for freshness' sake leads to nothing. True freshness is a clean slate. And this is clean of everything except wisdom. The wisdom that you have gained through those trials. If you're carrying that pain along with you, you're just going to manifest more pain. You're going to manifest more 10 swords, you know. So I feel here that you and whoever this is that you're dealing with, that you're having epiphanies, you're having realizations that you've been conducting yourselves from nonsensical places of the Five of Wands, and that needs to stop because this connection is too strong for that. I saw that the minute I got your first column. That's a lot of major arcana. What did I say? The Five of Wands is nonsense in a spread like this. I don't even know why it's here. The Two of Cups. I'm not making this shit up, man. This is a strong connection. We have the Emperor. I'm going to shuffle again. Oh. And Strength. 2024 adds up to an 8. The Strength is card number, well, it is 9, but it is August, right? It is Leo energy. You see here, there's an eclipse. We do have a couple of eclipses happening, I think in April, if I'm not wrong. I'm going to have to check. But the Emperor here now, while it's on the table and not at the bottom of the deck, is talking about stability and permanence. It is card number 4. I'm sorry, the Strength card is card number 11, not even number 9. But I was thinking of the 8th month, which is August. The Emperor is card number 4. This is all things that are permanent, right? The 4 seasons, the 4 cardinal directions, the 4 walls of a home. Things that are unchanging. Regardless of the petty conflict, regardless of the fights, there is an unchangingness in that unconditional love in this connection. The Strength card can be, of course, a card of holding back, yes, but the Strength card is also a card of quietening the beast within. We do have the devil. You see the mirror happening here. This is about curbing all of those primal instincts that we are born with as human beings and truly tapping into wisdom. Wisdom of the heart, wisdom of the mind, wisdom of the ancestors, wisdom of your intuition before conducting yourself. I have the Knight of Wands with the Queen of Wands and the Star at the bottom of the deck with the Empress and the Knight of Swords. There is so much healing in this connection. It's unbelievable. And it is profound. This is not an ordinary love reading of, oh, your ex is coming back and da-da-da. No, it's not like that. This is a very strong soul connection. And the contract has not expired just yet. And I don't think it will for a long time to come. There's a lot more here. There's a lot more substance here that needs to be lived and experienced and felt. This petty conflict, these fights, whatever these debates are, they're insignificant right now. The King of Cups keeps wanting to show himself. That wanted to show. The Ace of Pentacles, beautiful. You have 2 aces now. The 5 of Wands. You remember what I said earlier when I was giving you an overview of these cards. Not fighting with each other, but fighting for each other. That's exactly what I'm getting here now. While some of you may have adopted a colder demeanor than normal in this connection because, well, few of you were heartbroken, right? You may have lost faith in this soul tie. So with this Queen of Swords, there's this building of walls and drawing of boundaries and whatever. Whoever it is that you're dealing with the King of Cups, as I said earlier when I saw the 2 of Cups, is an evening out of your love languages. So if this person was the one who was cold earlier, right, if they were the cutting one, there's a shift now. There's an emotional intelligence at play. The Ace of Cups on its own can be a wishy-washy cup of love. This is La La Land, right? But the Ace of Pentacles grounds it like no other. This is a solid proposal. This is a solid offer that can be built upon. This is a seed that when planted can turn into the 10 of Pentacles, which, if you remember, is the card that wanted to flip over while I was shuffling. Everything happens for a reason. I showed you that for a reason. It's because this turns into that happily ever after. While you were on opposing teams earlier, you're on the same team now. And I feel like this person is going to try their hardest to break down the walls that you have built around yourself. This is absolutely wonderful. Oh goodness, I don't even know why I'm shuffling. Bottom of the deck, we have the 6 of Wands. Success and victory with the King of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. And Temperance. I did speak about Temperance when I was talking about the Star and the 2 Cups, right? And then we have the Empress to the Emperor. Success wants to be seen in this connection. There's no doubt in my mind about it. For some of you, yes, the fruition of this could be in the summer, right? For some of you, it could be as quickly as the next week. Everyone's on different timelines, so there's no rule of thumb here. But the polishing of that silver, the polishing of your intuition and your subconscious mind is very important right now. There's more to uncover here. This is not going to just magically fall into your lap. You have to do the work. And some of that could be shadow work. It could be very painful. I did speak about traumas and fears with the moon right here. So maybe while your person is studying their attachment style, you need to study yours and see where you can make a difference and make a change. But you're on the same team at the end of the day. And you shouldn't forget that, you know. All right. Oh, do you see that? I wanted to make space because I'm rolling some dice for you. The Ace of Wands. striking while the iron is hot. This is passion. This is drive. It's ambition. And this could be related to anything, but I feel like this has more to do with your connection than anything else in your life. Things are changing. They're changing very quickly. And you may not, again, like I said, see the fruit of this till the summer. But the shoots have already started to emerge from the soil. All right, we have the number 3. You could be seeing 333 a lot. If you are, this talks about support, your spiritual guides and your ancestors being around you, sending you love, support, and guidance. This could also talk about house number 3, which talks about communication, ruled by Mercury, right? We did speak about that. Just make sure you are double checking, triple checking everything, including your tone of voice while you're talking. And this could talk about that 8 of Wands energy of messages coming in, emails coming in, calls coming in, right? Then we have Libra. You could be dealing with a Libra. You could have Libra heavily in your chart. Doesn't have to be. But this is that Empress energy. It is Venus, right? This is expansion, growth, love. It is a sign of commitments. It rules the 7th house. So this is an indication that your long-term commitments are gonna have a little bit of a shake-up here. A long overdue shake-up. Then we have Mars. I spoke about Mars at length, so I will not repeat myself. But yes, Mars is in Capricorn right now. Do a little bit of digging, do a little bit of research about how you can apply this energy constructively into your life. Whether it's your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan, your career plan, your retirement plan, now is the time to plant those seeds. All right, we have the letters L, P, M, O, D, P, and C. These could be your initials. They could be the initials of somebody you're dealing with. Doesn't have to be. Just a special mention for those of you who've seen your initials here today. All right, that was it. Your January overviews per sign have been uploaded. I will be working on your mid-month reading soon, and I hope this helped. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.